My name is Cheryl Woodard, and I'm one of the meditation teachers here at EBS. I'm coming to you today from our bookstore because there are people meditating in our shrine room, and I do these Facebook Live meditations on Sunday mornings for the benefit of those who can't make it here or just to help people. Anyway, today I want to talk about compassion. Unlimited, unconditioned compassion is one of the highest ideals of the Buddhist teachings. The belief is that compassion is native to us. We are born with it in our hearts, but also compassion is easily corrupted by anger and fear. We find it hard to maintain a peaceful, compassionate state of mind when we're captured by anxiety and aggression. The teachers say that while strong emotion, negative emotions, can chase away our compassion, we can also chase away our strong negative emotions, angers, and fears with compassion. So today I want to talk about Buddhist practices for directly cultivating a compassionate attitude. There are 4 that I want to talk about. The first one is the basic mindfulness meditation that I've spoken about many times and that most of us are familiar with. But also I want to talk about contemplation, aspiration, and visualization. These are other powerful tools. Contemplation simply means to consider something thoughtfully and with an inquiring mind. For example, let's take something that Dalai Lama often says. The Dalai Lama often says that Buddhism boils down to 2 words: no exceptions. The whole of all the Buddhist teachings can be expressed in those 2 words, that we must always consider all beings as part of our human family, no matter what they do. Pope Francis echoed this idea just a few weeks before he died, when he wrote a letter to the bishops of the United States about mass deportations in America, and he urged them and his followers to meditate on, quote, the love that builds a fraternity open to all without exception. So we can work on cultivating compassion by considering what no exceptions would mean in our own lives. What would it feel like to really and truly understand that we can't reject anybody, no matter what they do? We can condemn bad behavior, but we can never forsake the ones who behave badly. Or as Christians say, hate the sin, love the sinner. So just taking up an idea like that and thinking about it and working with it in looking at when you feel anger at someone, acknowledging the anger, but recognizing that you aren't allowed to reject the person. And see what that means. How does that work in your life? That's contemplation. Aspiration, second practice, means to acknowledge our heartfelt wish to be more compassionate by saying that wish out loud. For example, a lot of us Buddhists recite prayers like this one, where we say, all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path, may they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. So we say that even though we don't really feel that, we say it because we aspire to feel that we want our obstructors and people who've harmed us to be free of suffering. And even if you don't say a prayer like this, you might simply say out loud, something you're reading in the news that somebody did something horrible and you want to hate that person, and you just could say out loud, well, I wish that person could feel peace and love in their heart, or could recognize, could be freed from whatever it was that drove them to behave that way. Now, visualization, this is another practice, means to picture something deliberately in your mind's eye so that you can inspire your own heart to change. For example, there's a practice of recalling all the people who have ever nurtured and supported me throughout my life. We call them our benefactors. Pull up their faces in my mind and see them looking at me with love. And then, really bathe myself in that love and appreciate that love. And then extend that love visually and imagine extending that love to all the people out there in the world who've never experienced that kind of support. I try to imagine that love reaching people, touching them, comforting them, healing them. Another visualization is calling to mind the people who are doing the bad things, trying to picture their faces and to understand the pain that drives their bad behavior. And then extending the wish that their hearts could be softened, that their suffering could end, and imagining that my compassion reaches them like warmth on a cold day, and that it does actually help them to soften, to stand down a little bit from the rage or whatever they're doing. So again, you could, in your own way, figure out a visualization where you see the evildoers and you find a way to see their human faces, not to just see them as like cartoon characters, enacting a story that you don't like, but as real human beings with complex feelings and emotions, with complicated circumstances that drive them to do what they're doing. Not that you forgive them, not that you roll over and be a doormat when people are bad, but simply to, if you see them as people, then your reactions, your responses must also be ones that you could live with yourself, that are human, that are driven by the good parts of you and not the bad parts of you. You are maintaining your own dignity in the face of whatever is happening. And that's important. So then, lastly, I want to talk about mindfulness meditation and how does mindfulness express this no exceptions doctrine. And the answer is that mindfulness is about extending compassionate acceptance and love, unconditioned love, towards your own mind. So you can't share what you don't have. So if you are walking around judging, hating even parts of yourself, feelings that you have, then it's not going to be easy for you to accept other people and their complicated, ugly parts. So mindfulness is a way to love yourself without conditions. And let me talk about how. Remember that mindfulness meditation has 3 parts. The first is that you settle your body into a comfortable, upright, and awake posture. You could think of this settling part as a kind of play acting. You are assuming the benevolent, peaceful posture of a Buddha because you want to emulate or become one. So, in this posture, you can experience being alive, being present, being open, being healthy and at peace, being safe and secure. That's what you're doing when you settle your body. You are experiencing the benefit, the wonderfulness of being alive. The second part is to open your awareness by paying attention to your breath as it moves in and out of your body. You could think of this part as another kind of play acting, meaning that you're allowing your awareness to expand beyond your own comfort zone. You can see your breath actually carrying your awareness out beyond your own skin towards something bigger than just the problem of your own survival. You can see your breath drawing energy in from the world around you and exhaling out into the world around you, and this huge environment of space that is part of what you're experiencing in the world. And so this part, you're experiencing space and openness. It's a kind of freedom. Just for now, while you're sitting here meditating, you can be free from all the troubles that normally concern you. You can connect to the space around you. You can draw sustenance from the space around you, and you can relax. So that's what you're doing when you're looking at your breath, following your breath. The third part is usually called observing or resting, and the instruction is to simply watch the activity of your mind, observe the activity of your mind. But this is where the no exceptions idea really comes alive. Because from this settled, open experience of your breathing body, you experience your own mental activity without judging or rejecting any part of it. You experience acceptance because you give acceptance to yourself. You actually practice universal love here by accepting and loving your own thoughts and emotions, good and bad, happy and sad, so that eventually, with this experience of loving yourself, you can extend this impartial love to other people too. So here's the bottom line. If we want to live in a world where we are safe from enemies, then we have to stop looking at other people as enemies. Nobody will be safe until everybody is free from hate. So I hope we can regard hatred as the true enemy and work to banish hatred from our own hearts. I think that is the message that all of these practices are trying to give us. So if you feel tempted to hate people or make enemies out of them, maybe because you feel threatened by them or you're just disturbed by the hard times we're living through right now, please consider trying some of these methods for cultivating compassion instead. Or even just think to yourself, wait a minute, I can't, no exceptions. Just think those two words, no exceptions. And figure out what that means to you. And see if that helps. So I hope this has been helpful. I have complicated connection with technology here in the bookstore, or Wi-Fi, is not always good. I hope that you could see this and hear this and that it works. I don't really know. But anyway, I wish you all the best and peace and love. Until the next time. Bye.